Kenneth Vercammen Law Office Legal Podcast. In this edition, we look at driving while suspended. Now, in New Jersey and most states, let's see, there's a requirement. The driver's license just can't automatically be suspended without any notice to someone. But all that's required is a notice being sent by motor vehicles to whatever address the person provided. So it's important that someone, let's say, keep their address up to date with motor vehicles. Occasionally people are stopped and police say, okay, your license is suspended. People says, why? Police looking at the computer goes, I don't know. So it's a good idea if someone calls Motor Vehicle Commission right away. It used to be called DMV. Find out, okay, why am I suspended and what do I have to do to get restored? With the ticket, you want to sit down with the attorney, see what kind of defenses there are to the charge. Because sometimes the person, there's not really any defense, it's just really whether or not you can work out some type of plea deal with the prosecutor. On a first offense, driving while suspended, it's a fine of $500, $750 in surcharge, 9 points, and driver's license suspension up to 6 months. Second offense, $750 fine, $750 surcharges, 9 insurance points, and jail of 1 to 5 days, mandatory jail, and license suspension up to 6 months. So sometimes we can convince the judge that they should be given credit for the date that they were stopped as an arrestee. Third offense, mandatory 10 days in jail, $1,000 fine, and all those other suspension surcharges. If someone's suspended for DWI, then there's additional mandatory jail time. So it's important to get a good attorney. The attorney will file a request for discovery with the prosecutor, requesting proof of mailings if the suspension was by the Motor Vehicle Commission, both the notice of suspension and the order of suspension. It was a court-imposed suspension. Was it a suspension where the person was in court or they weren't in court, such as failure to pay fines or a parking ticket? If there's a question as to why the person was pulled over, the attorney can file what's called a suppression motion. And lastly, when going to court, the prosecutor in many cases can engage in a plea bargain. But the important thing is to keep your license up to date and make sure motor vehicle knows where you're at, because you can't, it is not a defense that someone says, well, I moved and I didn't get the notice. That's not a defense recognized in New Jersey. For other information on defenses and help with driving while suspended tickets, visit website njlaws.com or website benotguilty.com. That's benotguilty.com. And for representation, call the Law Office of Kenneth Vercammen, 732-572-0500. Thank you and good luck.